It's been another challenging year, a year of political change, a year when a global financial crisis took a deeper hold, and climate change continued to impact on the lives of some of the world's poorest people. Through it all, Christian Aid and its partners, more than 500 of them in nearly 50 countries, have been meeting these challenges head-on. I'm Loretta Minghella, and I'm the Director of Christian Aid. This has been my first full year in post, and it's been a really remarkable 12 months. I'd like to say I've enjoyed every minute, but it wouldn't be true. It's never enjoyable to see the scandal of poverty close up, and on my travels, I've seen children too weak with hunger to walk to school, people dying of preventable disease, people too poor to bury their own dead. What I have enjoyed is meeting and working with the talented, committed and inspiring people who work for Christian Aid, and the amazing supporters and partners that Christian Aid has across the world. In this video, I'd like to emphasise the key areas of work we've focused on in the last year. Christian Aid's work on secure livelihoods has always stressed the importance of achieving long-term and sustainable development. A great example of this can be seen in Nicaragua, in the work of our partner Sepeshka, a collective of 18 coffee farming cooperatives. Sepeshka was set up to tackle the problems faced by small coffee producers, who were being forced to sell their produce at low prices. It brought the farmers together, giving them the collective strength to take their crop directly to market and get a better price for it. With help from Christian Aid, they bought a state-of-the-art processing plant which produces beans of export quality.
Uno de los grandes sueños de esta organización era poder contar con un beneficio seco propio. Y ahora ya lo tenemos gracias a la cooperación, ¿verdad?, de Christian Aid, que fue el que dio la primera semilla. Detrás de ese saco de café también hay muchas condiciones de vida que hemos ido mejorando paulatinamente.
It's another huge benefit for the farmers, who can sell roasted beans for a much higher price than unprocessed coffee. A percentage of all the money that they make goes back into the community through projects like health clinics and schools. A cornerstone of Christian Aid's work on economic justice is the campaign for a transparent and fair tax system across the world. We've been at the forefront in taking tax, for so long a marginal issue, to the very top of the development agenda. Christian Aid estimates that tax dodging by some multinational companies costs developing nations more than $160 billion every year. That's more than 1.5 times the amount of the world's combined aid budget. Guatemala in Central America is an example of a country with a weak tax system and a huge problem of tax evasion. One of the consequences is that Guatemala has one of the highest levels of child malnutrition in the world. It's a condition that shouldn't be seen in a middle-income country like Guatemala.
Cuando un niño llega así, es por carencia, es porque no hay. Pero cuando uno va a la comunidad, el frijol se puede comer 1 o 2 veces por semana. Entonces eso realmente no llena ningún requerimiento nutricional.
Christian Aid wants to see big companies paying fair taxes in countries such as Guatemala, so that they can fund their own development and introduce desperately needed social programs. Christian Aid also continues to support communities around the world who want a greater say in decisions that affect their day-to-day lives. Sometimes this involves taking risks by challenging repressive government policies. A key area is gender equality. In Afghanistan, in what remains a very male-centred society, the Afghan Women's Network has been at the forefront of this fight. They've challenged norms that women should remain at home and not expect the right to education. They successfully lobbied the Afghan parliament against introducing a law that would have effectively legalised child marriage. They also understand the importance of enshrining equality in a legal framework. In the words of one woman MP there, for the long term, this can guarantee not only women's rights, but their children's rights. There's been an important shift in Christian Aid's HIV work towards a more integrated approach that also addresses other health issues, including malaria and TB. This approach achieves both greater impact and better value for money. There's a consistent link between HIV and malaria in particular, so it makes sense to approach these two problems together. In countries like Nigeria, we're providing free mosquito nets for the most vulnerable people, working alongside existing HIV projects.
The CCN, Community Care in Nigeria, and the Net for Life, they are integrated right from the administration in the office. And when they go into the field to execute their project, the Net for Life work together with them hand in hand.
At Christian Aid, we've long understood the importance of working in partnership with our sponsoring churches, politicians, the private sector and the public to achieve our aims. In October last year, we had a highly successful day of action at Parliament in London. 1,500 supporters came from all over the country to lobby MPs on the twin issues of tax and climate justice. But it also enabled us to thank the government for sticking by its commitment to protect the budget for overseas aid. It was an opportunity to take our case to the UK's decision makers. Christian Aid has a well-established relationship with the UK's Department for International Development, better known as DFID. We are thrilled that DFID has chosen to continue their funding relationship with us, especially given their heightened focus on effectiveness and value for money. In 2010, we commissioned an external independent evaluation of how their money is spent, and we were very pleased that the report found that Christian Aid's work had represented extremely good value for money. We are now working on a new corporate strategy to guide our work from 2012 onwards. We want to build on our success and ensure that Christian Aid continues to make the greatest impact, whatever challenges lie ahead.